And now, Fight Club, it's time for our main event of the evening. Two of the best roasters in New York City going head-to-head, and they just found out they were facing each other on very short notice. Earlier today, they found out they were facing each other, and they're still down to do it, and they're going to roast each other for you on short notice. No one does it on that short notice. You guys give it up for them. Even before they get up here, they're going to put on a show for you. Introducing first, from Ridgewood, New Jersey. He's so Jewish he'd complain about the temperature in a concentration camp. It's Dan Abraham!
Thank you. All right. You got a roof all fiddle. How we doing?
What's up? How are you doing, Dan?
Good. It's going to be two white guys calling each other gay, just as Martin Luther King intended.
Yes. And right now, two of the most Jewish-looking person next to the least Jewish-looking person on stage right now. And I am actually Jewish, too.
Yeah,
I want to say
surprise,
that.
surprise.
So it's okay I said the concentration camp joke,
We aren't
right?
inbred
I'm allowed
folk.
to. We're going to meet
you don't look Jewish?
Huh?
Do you think you don't look Jewish?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Does anybody here think
He
I
doesn't
look
look Jewish.
Jewish?
No, he doesn't look Jewish.
He doesn't. No, not at all. You think he looks Jewish?
Look at the way his pants meet his sneakers.
Wearing a leather vest.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah,
There's a leather vest with skull and crossbones
yeah. The
on it.
heels are out. The heels are out, and the jeans are forced up front.
We're going to meet Dan's opponent tonight. He's proof that not all retards are funny. From Long Island, New York, it's Dan Wickes.
And everyone sags about the heat that they're here.
Dan Wickes, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking
Main
me.
eventing. And you're in the tournament now. He's one of the best roasters. He's a former Fight Club champion. This is going to be a great battle. We're going to do 3 rounds here, and it's going to be 4 jokes tit for tat in round 1, 4 jokes straight through in round 2, and then 4 jokes tit for tat in round 3. We'll go to our judges for feedback in between the rounds. We're not going to pick a winner until the end. We pick a winner overall. Are you guys ready for your main event tonight? Which one of you guys wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Dan Abraham's going first. Wickes is going second. 4 jokes tit for tat. This main event starts now.
Round 1. Fight!
So happy to be up here with my opponent, Casperger's the Friendly Ghost.
First blood.
All right, thank you, Woody in the middle of class, Allen. You look like McLovin if he were super bad at pretending to be straight.
Hadouken!
You may recognize Dan from his appearance on HBO as Chernobyl victim number 4.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Okay, all right, Dan lived in Israel. So the only reason he's not in jail is because the kids he touched were Palestinian.
Made that sound too. Dan actually thought he was going to finally be on cable when he heard Time Warner was switching to Spectrum.
Fuck you. Dude, you look like if the Mythbusters did an episode about the male G-spot.
It's not a myth.
The change, you filthy animal.
Dan has no Muslim fans. They're afraid of his drone.
It's rough after I said that you fuck Palestinian children. All right, let's see. All right, Dan once did a naked roast. He was on stage completely naked. However, there were no cameras allowed, so I do not believe that he has a penis. All right.
Fight Club, give it up for round 1 of your main event. Gonna go to our judges, see what you guys think so far. Chris from Brooklyn, what's your thoughts after round 1?
I think these guys both look like gay velociraptors. That's it.
Geno Bisconte.
They're just jabbing at each other, although I don't know who wears a sweater shirt combo for a fucking roast battle. I don't get that. But I just am going to vote. We don't even vote yet, right? Okay.
You can say who you think is winning so far.
Well, no, I'm just afraid he's going to shower the room with bullets in a fucking shooting spree. So I'm fine for now. I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay, Danny Polishchuk.
Okay.
You didn't turn it off this time. I gotta say I like Jew Dan's jokes better, but I like this Dan's uncomfortable shaking better. So it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, the Jew Dan is the less neurotic one on stage right now. Derek Gaines.
This Dan, his first 3 were really good. Then the last one fell flat, and I was like, God damn, Rick Moranis. You know, you just good for you. But the guy that shakes after every one, I'm watching out for him. So I think I'm gonna just root for him anyway, because it looks like there's an evil plan going down every time he talks. So right now, I think it's this guy that's in.
Right now, I think Jew Dan has the. I'm not going to say the last names anymore. Jew Dan has the advantage.
Jew Dan has the advantage.
Yamaneika Saunders, what do you think so far?
Well, I got distracted by Wickes' shirt. It looks like somebody wrote the information down to remind you how to get home. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Abraham, you look like you're doing your thing. I've seen Wick before, but I think right now that Dan Abraham is in the lead.
All right, we're going to go to round 2. It's going to be 4 jokes straight through. We're going to start with Dan Wickes. Then we're going to go to Dan Abraham Fight Club. Are you ready for round 2 of your main event? All right, round 2 starts now.
Round 2. Fight.
All right, I'm gonna explain the shaking. I have Tourette's. Yeah, that's a thing that I have. But when Dan shakes uncontrollably, it's because somebody massaged his prostate. All right. Now, dude, you look like an RA at a Hebrew school. Dan's Jewish, as was said. So when he turned 13, his family celebrated him becoming a mangina. All right, dude, you look like Rick Moranis if he shrunk the kids but enlarged the clitoris.
Dan brought up Rick Moranis, like you're always saying during sex. Hey, Rick, more anus. Dan works... Dan works as a computer programmer. His boss saw his stand-up and thought, well, I bet he's good at coding. Dan's code is a lot like his pubic hair. It's full of bugs. He actually developed an algorithm for Uber so that cars would make fewer stops, as he told everyone in the neighborhood he's a registered sex offender. Dan is actually bi-curious. He told me this. He thinks he might be attracted to both ones and zeros.
Both Dans fucking bringing it. Round 2 fight. Give it up for both of them. All right, judges, see what you think so far. Derek Gaines, what do you think so far?
It was a turnaround on the one on the far end. Wex. Yeah, it was a turnaround. Very fun shit. It got very silly. I saw some of the takes that he took. Very nice. And took the Rick Moranis thing, made it even funnier than the horse shit that I said. So now it's a quick turn. I'm on his side right now. Yeah.
All right, Yamaneika Saunders, what do you think after round 2?
I mean, you know, Wickes, you don't have to tell us that you got Tourette's. You know, we know something ain't right. And we don't want it to be very specific. I always feel very uncomfortable watching this. It's like watching a documentary on Netflix about some type of disease that we missed in the 80s. I just want to say this real quick, Abraham. I think you wrote that more anus thing, or was that off the top of your head?
Honestly, I wrote that one.
Okay, because I was like, oh, you saw it coming. Okay, because I thought it deserved a little bit more than it got, and I'll say that. But I think I'm still exactly where I am on who's in the lead.
All right, Chris from Brooklyn, what do you think after round 2?
I totally think Dan Abraham is winning this science fair for his robot. It's fucking, yeah. That's it.
Okay, Danny Polishchuk.
I think it's a dead heat right now. I think it's totally even. You didn't turn off the microphone, you piece of shit.
I went to Danny first.
Yeah, just so I can make sure. And I think Shaky Dan made some ground back there, and I think it's even. I think it's even right now. So it's gonna be look forward to the next round.
Geno Bisconte. Danny, Danny.
All right, this won't be as funny as that. But it's got to be great for you to hang out in the winter, Danny, because like in the summer, the way you shake, I would think people are always like, "Are you cold?" Because you're just constantly shaking when you talk, right?
Yeah, you just turn the mic off again. Yeah.
Is this still off?
Shut up, Geno.
All right, I'm torn between both of them. The retard and the gay Ed Helms. I'm torn. All right.
All right, I think we're gonna go to round 3. Shaky Dan versus you, Dan, is what we're going with. I think. Round 3 of this fight can be 4 jokes, tit for tat. We're gonna start with Dan Abraham, Fight Club. It's your final round of this main event. Are you ready for the 3rd round of this fight? All right, starting with Dan Abraham. Round 3 starts now.
Final round. Fight!
I'll make this quick. I know you got speech therapy in the morning. The shaking is making me uncomfortable too. You make the Joker look like Bernie Mac.
Joker was a great movie. All right, you look like Rachel Maddow if MSNBC was your prescribed hormones.
Dan, your skin's so oily, George Bush tried to invade it.
Nice joke, Rivers homo.
Oh yeah! Woo!
Yeah, you look just like Buddy Holly if he dressed up as Mary Tyler Moore.
Dan had his first kiss at a middle school dance. They said he can't chaperone after that one.
Spoken!
All right. Dan said before, I am a computer programmer, but at least I have never given anybody the AIDS virus.
Dan has a disability, but I find you inspiring. You're like Helen Keller if they were only blind to social cues.
Dan told me his dad is gay. He also said his mom is gay because they won't let him buy that katana sword.
Give me a hell yeah!
That was one fucking hell of a main event. Fight Club, give it up for your main event. And the gunshot sound effects scare me. If Dan Wickes loses this fight, we may hear that again. But I'm going to go to you guys first. Fight Club, do you think the winner of this fight is Dan Wickes? Or is the winner of this fight Dan Abraham? Crowd vote goes to Dan Abraham. Go to our judges over. You can judge it based on who you think won more rounds, who you think won overall. However you guys want to, it's up to you. We'll start with Derek Gaines.
Shaky Dan. I kind of go for Shaky Dan, man.
Derek Gaines like Shaky Dan.
I just liked his last few, man. That last one with the katana sword fucked me up. That's some real shit. I'm from the suburbs. I know people that buy katana swords in the suburbs, so especially, and it was good. He looks like the type that would want a katana blade when he was younger. Like, you know, now it's dick, but before it was a katana sword. Good for you, man. Yeah. Shaky Dan.
It's one vote for Dan Wickes, one vote for Dan Abraham. Danny Polishchuk. Okay. Make sure the mic is on.
Yeah, it's on. So I think Dan for sure won the first round, but I think Shaky Dan took the next 2, and I don't want to wind up on any of his lists, so I'm gonna go with Shaky Dan.
2 votes for Dan Wickes, 1 vote for Dan Abraham. Geno Bisconte.
I think to be able to say Jew Dan repeatedly, that like. The question is, who's better being a Dan, the shaky one or the Jewy one? And the Jewy one, the Jewy one didn't run hiding from the Nazis, so I'm voting for Shaky Dan.
You voted for Shaky Dan?
Yes, Shaky Dan.
Okay.
By the way, if there was a black guy named Dan up there, it'd be Steely Dan. No one gets that. No one remembers the 70s?
Thank God there's not a gym on stage. Huckleberry Finn reference, guys. Dan Wickes has 3 votes, 1 vote for Dan Abraham. Chris from Brooklyn.
I do think I thought it was pretty close. I'm gonna give it to Dan Abraham and just leave it I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it up to Yamaneika.
All right, so it's 2 votes for Dan Abraham, 1 vote for Dan Wickes. Yamaneika, it's on you now.
So, no, please, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, Dan, Abraham, we know your people had to avoid the oven.
And the sun.
And Dan Wick, we know your mother didn't keep you in the oven long enough. I'm not going to say Shaky Dan or Jew Dan because I'm represented by a bunch of Jews and I need my career. I'm just going to go based upon the points that I counted, and this is why it's so important to have one fucking person on here taking fucking notes. And I went with you guys too because I don't know what a katana sword is, but you guys fucking laughed like it was the end of the world, so I wrote that down. So based upon what I have, I got 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 for Abraham. I got 2, 4, 5 for Wick. So Dan Abraham for me.
3 votes for Dan Abraham. 3 votes for Dan Wick. You got one more joke? Fight Club, we are going to go to overtime.
Yeah!
It's going to be 1 joke back and forth. Dan Abraham went first last time, so Dan Wickes is going first. Dan Abraham's going second. Overtime starts now.
Final round. Fight!
Okay. Anyway, fuck this guy, right? Dude, I hope you die in a fire trying to figure out which comic books to save.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Okay, I'll keep it quick. I know 4chan's waiting for your manifesto. Dan, you look like you accuse women of monotone policing.
Winner by knockout, Dan Wickes!
Perfect.